Something serious is happening in Minnesota, and it's not just policy disagreement. It's about how public figures talk about Americans who support law enforcement and border security. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz recently used historically charged language to describe federal immigration enforcement, language that, in the view of many conservatives, crosses a dangerous line. My name is Ed, a Whitehouse correspondent for the Daily Beltway, and today we're breaking down why Walz's rhetoric matters, how it's being used to paint ICE agents and border security supporters as modern oppressors, and why that narrative has real consequences. Before we go any further, we're a growing channel. Every like, comment, and share helps this reporting reach more Americans. If you value clear, sober analysis, your support matters. Now here's what Walz did. In comments responding to a recent federal immigration enforcement action in Minneapolis, Walz compared the situation facing children in the state to historical suffering under totalitarian regimes. His point was meant to criticize federal policy, but the effect was to equate federal agents with those regimes. Now check this out.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota.
Because this is the moment that ignites the controversy, Walz's language wasn't just policy disagreement. It cast federal agents enforcing immigration law as morally equivalent to historical tyrants. Critics argue this kind of rhetoric does more than protest policy. It paints ICE agents, and by extension Trump supporters who back enforcement, as not just wrong, but dangerously oppressive. And that matters, because in recent years, we've seen how authoritarian analogies can be used to justify threats and even violence against people on the right. Whether it's local officials, activists, or media amplifying the comparisons, the result is the same. Law enforcement officers are depicted not as public servants carrying out the law passed by Congress, but as enemies of the people. That portrayal has predictable effects. In Minneapolis, protesters erupted after a Border Patrol agent shot a man during an enforcement operation, leading to clashes with federal agents. Local Democratic leaders, including Walz, have demanded changes to federal presence, and some have urged federal agents to leave the state entirely. But language matters. When a governor equates legal enforcement officers with historical tyrants, it doesn't just criticize policy. It attacks character and intent. It blurs the line between lawful action and illegitimate oppression. Contrast that with what supporters of federal agents argue, that ICE and Border Patrol agents perform dangerous work under difficult conditions to protect communities and enforce laws